Joining us on the program.
A very good morning to you and the viewers of your program, Leanne.
Yesterday you said in your address that road traffic fatalities are amongst the main causes of death in South Africa. Isn't that shocking? I mean, that's a scary thing to think of.
It's very shocking indeed. And 98% of accidents or crashes that occur on South African roads are mainly due to people not obeying the rules of the road.
Now, I mean, the number is lower than the 1,771 recorded last year. But I mean, I actually, on the article it says, does this give us hope? But in my opinion, I don't think it does give us hope because the figure is still astronomical. I mean, what is going to be done?
The figure is a very high one. But in terms of the prescripts and direction of the United Nations Decade on Road Safety, it's important that all countries, first and foremost, stabilize the numbers of road crashes or accidents, and thereafter seek and ensure that the actual numbers decrease. So in terms of those guidelines, we are on track as a country. But every death on our roads is one death too many. This is why we are looking at applying the provisions of Section 25 of the National Road Traffic Act more stringently. That particular piece of legislation empowers road traffic officials to either suspend or nullify the license of reckless drivers. So we are looking at a basket of measures to ensure that we really enforce regulations, whilst we also encourage a greater degree of public awareness with regard to issues pertaining to road safety.
Yeah.
For instance, more than 80% of the people who die on our roads, a great percentage of that is due to backseat passengers not wearing seat belts. So if all of us had to comply and simply wear our seat belts, we'd be able to drastically reduce the number of fatalities on our roads.
Yeah. Let's talk about comments.
The other factor that we also need to emphasize, we tend to focus on vehicles, drivers, and passengers. But another high degree of people who die on our roads are individuals who get drunk and walk on the roads.
Yeah.
So that also adds to the figures. So alcohol is a problem.
All right. Let's talk about alcohol, because I think that this is one of the matters that you discussed in detail yesterday. The two recommendations that you made was perhaps implementing a total ban on alcohol advertising, and the other issue was bringing the liquor limit down when you're driving to zero, because at the moment I think it's around about 0.05 grams per 100 mils of blood. Is this something that you're serious about? Are you going to be pushing forward to make this happen?
We are very serious about the liquor limit. We want to bring it down to zero. Because anybody who goes to apply for a learner's driver's license and a person who goes to the final test for a driving license, we don't tell those people that it's okay to have a certain degree of alcohol in your blood. You can pass a pub, drink, and come for your test. So I don't see the logic of why we should encourage people to drink and then get behind the wheel. The most ideal situation in order to deal with our national problem would be to have a zero alcohol limit for anybody who seeks to drive a motor vehicle. The other issue about advertising, we are at one with our sister departments, like the Department of Health. We have spoken out about the evils of alcohol advertising. We support that campaign, and we also believe that there should not be adverts that encourage people to drink.
A lot of people...
Presently in this country, we don't have smoking in public, and adverts for smoking are discouraged.
Yeah.
So I don't see the impact of alcohol is more graphic. So we should put in place the requisite measures to deal with this scourge.
Yeah, a lot of people, you know, talking to us this morning about whether the total ban on advertising will help. It seems that everybody's in agreement to bring it down to zero, because that is, I think, one of the ways that could help when it comes to alcohol. But the advertising, people are saying that's not going to help. It's issues like the state of our roads that need to be fixed. The issue that, you know, there is no other option when it comes to public transport. We're talking about rail. We're talking about the buses, taxis. There's no other means for people to get down to their holiday destinations besides using the roads, and the roads are not in the greatest of states. So, you know, what are we going to do to try and help that situation?
I agree that we need to look at a multiplicity of measures in order to address road fatalities on this country. But the fact of the matter is that 46% of national roads are in an excellent condition, but you still have accidents on those roads. The same applies to the road network of provinces. It's also in the main in a very excellent condition, but we still have accidents there. But we are not detracting from the fact that we need to ensure that all our roads are in the highest degree and fit for use. So whilst we address that, we can also not deny that we do need to look at the aspect of alcohol. The adverts are such that they encourage people to drink. The adverts are such that it projects a certain false lifestyle. I haven't come across an advertising alcohol where they show a person drunk, a person drinking and driving, and the consequences that result from that. The same applies to smoking. When you advertise smoking, you are encouraging youngsters that it's a prim and proper thing to do. So worse when it comes to alcohol. So this is why my personal view is that we should not advertise alcohol, as it would encourage people to drink and drive.
All right, Minister, we're going to unfortunately have to leave it there. There's so much more to talk about, but we've run out of time. Thank you very much for talking to us. The Minister of Transport, Ben Martin, is very adamant that alcohol advertising must be banned here in South Africa, and also bringing that limit down to zero. We'd love to hear from you. There's already so many South Africans that have commented on this issue, and we'll read some of your comments after the break. Stay